and welcome to Guide Review right here on DGM. Michelle Ruiz once said, and I quote, "If people are doubting how far you can go, go so far that you cannot hear them anymore." Oftentimes, we limit ourselves to validations from people around us and end up putting a full stop on our lives during moments that deserve a comma. So when you fail or fall, get up, dust off, and try harder. After all, nothing lasts forever. Well, this is my special motivational message for you today. We have a lot to talk about on the show, including a special announcement. This is Guide Review once again, and I'm Sharon-Acquah, your host for today. Thanks for staying. Now, this week, we're still campaigning against illegal mining and promoting the need to grow more trees. We also heard of some unfortunate deaths involving a fuel tanker which took the life of a 2-year-old boy and 3 others at the Ahafo-Ano Southwest District, and some persons who also perished after a mining pit caved in at Dentra Breman Brofuyedru in the Upper Dentra West District of the Central Region. May their souls rest in peace, and our sincerest condolences to the bereaved families. Well, away from that, I did say I have a special announcement to make, but that will be later on the show. However, we'll have our usual newspaper discussions with the ever-intelligent and smart Alhaji Gomda, Chief News Editor of the Daily Guide newspaper. I urge you to share your thoughts with us on Instagram and Facebook at Daily Guide Network, or get personal with me at Liz Brown on Instagram or Sharon-Acquah on Facebook. Alhaji.
Hey, those adjectives, do I deserve them?
You do,
no,
you do, and
so.
more. Thank you.
Well, we are back.
Yes, you are back again. Thank you for coming.
Yes,
how has the week been?
It has been fine. We are healthy.
Yes. And, we give thanks to Allah.
Yes. We no longer hear negative stories health-wise.
Yes.
Pandemic.
Thankfully,
it's being managed successfully by our experts. We too have to continue adhering to the protocols.
Yeah. We say kudos to medical doctors and health practitioners out there. Well, so this week we heard of 5 cops being arrested for extorting 38,000 Ghana cedis from drivers. It was in on Friday's editorial of the Daily Guide newspaper. I believe you wrote that.
Yeah, it is worrying that
very worrying.
Law enforcement officers would be involved in the extortion of money from drivers. It is worrying because you do not know when to really put up a challenge when you meet such bad elements in the police service. It's also worrying that such bad elements tarnish the image of other officers in uniform, which we have to fight seriously against. We find it disturbing that law enforcement officers, junior officers, will go on patrol and there is no senior non-commissioned officer amongst them. Constable, Lance Corporal, 5 of them, using a service vehicle. The temptation for these guys to extort money is high, and it appears they've been doing it for some time. What is disturbing is that I think about 2-3 months ago, a similar thing happened. This was, it was extortion too. A gold dealer, a foreign gold dealer, had just gone to finish a transaction, and it appeared they trailed him. He had so much money on him, I cannot recall the exact amount involved in dollars. They stopped him, I don't know whether it was around Tesano or whatever, and they took the money from him. But he managed to memorize the details of the vehicle. He reported it. They were finally apprehended. But what we don't like about how these cases are managed is that the deterrence, which is important in such matters, doesn't come, because now we don't know where the case has reached. And our crime reporter, Linda, says she's been following up. Anytime she goes, how far about this case, she doesn't get anything. So what does it mean? The temptation is there for us to begin to wonder whether the officers have been let off the hook. which is not good.
At all.
Now, any action that is taken, punitive action taken against these officers, should be made public so that others will learn from it and not go near extortion. It's disturbing.
It is.
In fact, in this case, it should go beyond querying them. In fact, they should just be dismissed from service, because a police officer who can extort money is not fit to be in uniform.
Yes.
And I hear they did it. They use weapons, threaten the guys.
Yes. I listened to one interview on one of the radio stations, and it was sad. It was sad. I felt scared at a point for myself.
Young boys. I mean, this is a police institution which over the years has performed creditably. You know, an institution which generations have passed, which served within it and gave it this reputation which it has today, and which is now being threatened by bad elements like this who go in there with the aim of making money overnight. It is just this worrying get money quick syndrome which is permeating all aspects of society.
All aspects.
Young boys, how long have you been in the service? They all want to have cars. And so cars by all means, even if it requires extortion money, which they have done, and now they are in trouble. So disgraceful.
So disgraceful.
Yes,
the IGP indeed has a lot of work to do.
Exactly.
Now, on Graphic Online, there's a story there that says filth returns to part of Accra after cleanup.
Yeah.
Let me just read a little excerpt. Barely a month after a massive cleanup and decongestion exercise at Bese in the Greater Accra region, filth and unauthorized structures have resurfaced in the area. The exercise was organized by the Graphic Communications Group Limited in collaboration with the Zoom Lion Ghana Limited to rid the area of filth. However, at a visit to the area yesterday, the Daily Graphic observed that the area had reverted to its former state. It was observed that the streets in the area, including the market, had piles of refuse accompanied by a pungent smell and flies. In spite of the health implications of the situation, food vendors and fish sellers were seen busily going about their businesses without proper hygiene practices. We should bow down our heads in shame if this is really, really what is happening in town. Alhaji.
Yeah. Earlier, I think I read about how the Bese part of Accra, which also benefited from the recent cleanup exercise,
yes,
is now being engulfed again by the very filth which was removed from the vicinity. I think I mentioned this earlier some time ago. I don't know whether we did that in an editorial or not. But the fact is that the psyche, the mindset of the people has to be worked upon. Clean up, and the habits, the nature of the people has not been engineered. They will go back, dump the garbage again in the gutter. They don't care. After all, they didn't even take part in it. It was the Regional Coordinating Council, at the head of which is the regional minister, the hard-working Henry Quarty, and some security personnel who did it. The people who live within the vicinities where the cleanup took place didn't take part. They couldn't care a hoot about their environment. So I think a more serious approach should be taken involving the National Commission for Civic Education to really talk to our people about the importance of cleanliness.
Yes.
We have to get our clergymen involved to talk about it in our churches, to talk about it in our mosques. I think that is another approach we have to take.
Yes,
but
perhaps.
To periodically come and organize cleanup only for these areas which benefited from the exercise to revert its former state is worrying, it's painful. After all the efforts, the energy, the money, you know, look at the regional minister and security personnel getting involved in this thing only for them. Now, if you call them again tomorrow to come and do it, they will question the rationale behind it, the wisdom in it, because after all, you come and do it and the next day the place is back to square one.
And this comes in at a time where we are all trying or fighting for our leaders to fix the country. They are doing their part. Clearly, now we all can attest the fact that they are doing their part, but we are all into doing ours.
Fixing the country is about we Ghanaians fixing our lives,
and our mindsets,
fixing our consciences,
and our attitudes,
fixing our attitudes to our environment, fixing our attitude to our fellow human beings, fixing our attitude to our leaders. Yes, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's shameful, but well.
It's sad. It's sad.
Anyway, so there's the video. I'm actually sad at this moment. A Ghanaian caregiver killed a baby. It was on graphiconline.com again. And let me just give you a scenario. A CCTV video cited by the Daily Graphic showed the victim in a neatly decorated classroom with two other babies. One of the babies was standing in a baby's cot, while the other was lying on the floor, unattended to, with little Allegra sitting on a stool. In the video, Clara was seen leaving the classroom, returning shortly with a cup and also cleaning the floor with tissue. She was later seen trying to force porridge in a cup into the victim's mouth while holding the baby's hands tightly behind her. Clara was also seen pushing the baby's head into the cup in an attempt to get the little girl to drink the porridge, while the helpless baby, who appeared to be suffocating, screamed and threw her legs into the air ferociously. I saw the video.
Yeah. I didn't see the video. I read the story, and I realized that viewers' discretion was even...
It was advised.
Yeah, it was advised. Well, thank God technology made it possible for what happened to be seen.
Thankfully.
I will advise that henceforth caregiving facilities like creche and so on and so forth should have CCTVs so that the bad elements within the caregiving industry will be fished out. I think the lady who allegedly killed the small girl,
the little baby,
could have had, it's likely she had a mental problem, one. She hadn't received her salary. She had a bad night at home. She could have had problems with her family, and this could have impacted on her conduct, at work. And I think management of such caregiving facilities should take interest in determining the moods of their staff, especially their staff who deal directly with kids. Now, kids can be difficult to manage sometimes.
That's true.
I believe that she was angry because maybe she cleaned up the place and the baby messed up the place again, already she wasn't in a good mood, so therefore she had to force the child to drink the porridge, and in the event asphyxiation setting, the baby didn't have enough oxygen and had to die. What's a terrible way to die for a baby?
An 11-month.
Yeah, 11 months, under 1 year. And I congratulate the father for probing, because, ordinarily, the baby is dead.
Just like that.
Knowing that the child had no health condition at that time, was brought to the place for caregiving, for care management for a certain period in the day, only to be told that the child had died. He decided to go to the police immediately.
Yes, he did. And I didn't really like what the headmistress of the school tried to do. She tried to cover up, which is it's, of course, to be defensive. But when the police came in, that was when she released the CCTV footage to them. But when the child was rushed to the hospital, apparently the only excuse they gave the parents was the child just fell sick.
How?
And on reaching the hospital, she died. But from the video, if you look at how the child was actually, her hands were held behind her, it's sad.
Oh, no, but this is a simple thing. That is why postmortems are very important.
Yes.
Obviously, the medical chaps there will be able to determine whether or not the child died as a result of asphyxiation or whether there was an underlying ailment. So that one there is a simple thing. I hear the corpses at the police hospital also.
No, the baby has been
buried. Yeah,
no,
buried.
The baby has been given to the family for burial.
For burial.
Yes.
Well, I believe they would have done the postmortem. They cannot release the body without going through the So the postmortem report should be ready, and that is what is going to guide the police to do their prosecution. In fact, that's the end of they have finished their prosecution. I mean, the investigation, given the fact that the postmortem results are out, and with that, they can just proceed without further delay.
Indeed, indeed. Now, on to another interesting developing story. Unusual number of applications for Mmdces positions. For one part, I think I saw about 66 people applying for one position. What's really happening? What's the gold in there?
I think in previous times, people could just go take some of these appointments and just sit there. But it looks like this time around, given the fact that the earlier suggestion, recommendation that the position be an elective one, people should go in and be voted into office. But it appears it didn't go through. Now that it has to be through application, I think it is another opportunity for those vetting them to find out whether the applicants are cut for the job, whether they really understand what decentralization is, because this municipal and district assemblies are about decentralization, bringing government to the local level, as opposed to the previous centralization. But it looks like there are still questions as to whether we have actually succeeded in achieving the goals of decentralization. And I think the crop of Mmdces who would come next should be given these tasks.
Right.
As to why many want to go in there is that, well, maybe some of them have they have a project of going to make money, but I think they should be warned that, look, it's not that easy now. Ghanaians will watch them, and especially against the backdrop of so many applications going in there for these positions. We are going to watch out for their performance, how they do it. And I think we suggested some time ago that in areas which are galamsey prone, galamsey infested areas, the Mmdces should especially be tasked to partake in it, and their performance should be based on how effective they have been in stemming the tide of illegal mining in these areas. And I would also ask people, residents in the various municipalities and so on and so forth, to really look at the performance of those who are eventually chosen. And these persons should be implored to really do what is expected of them. Bring governance to the grassroots, to the local level. Yeah.
Anyway, so I know you're a bit emotional, or you actually want to, I know you want to touch on this particular topic, the inactiveness of the NCCE in sensitizing citizens on national projects. We know the National Population and Housing Census is just around the corner. We also know about the green project being run by the Forestry Commission. We don't hear from the NCCE. Aren't we supposed to be seeing or expecting some clips, ads on radio? If I'm in my house and people just show up in my house claiming to be from the GSS to come and write down my names and take my information, I think that if I haven't seen anything on TV, or heard anything on radio, I would just drive them out of my house. I really think they're not being
I think to be fair,
active.
I think to be fair to the NCCE, currently they are preoccupied with further activities. They did this their Constitution Week recently.
Yes,
I think
Citizenship
I'll give
Week
them.
or so.
I will applaud them for really bringing the issue of the Constitution to the people for the first time.
Right.
The head of the organization herself was active. They went to places like Circle and so on and so forth. But coming to the population issue, the census, I think it is the Statistical Service, or is it?
Yes,
they are in charge. They should reach out to the NCCE. I think they should sit down with them and get them involved.
So it's likely they haven't done that.
The NCCE has a logistical challenge. For them to just get up and join this crusade without being assured of the necessary logistics, I think it will be too much for them. Under the circumstances, I will ask that the Statistical Services, they are in charge, they should reach out to the NCCE because they have the wherewithal. They have their presence, around the country in a manner which would help us in achieving the goals of the census which we are about to embark upon. Having said that, the statistical chaps are doing well. For the first time, I have seen them involve the Zongo community seriously. I hear in the next 2 weeks or so, they are going to even meet the office of the National Chief Imam with a view to courting his support towards the exercise. I will ask them to do same with the NCC
as well,
who are experts at really mobilizing people for such exercises.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true. Anyway, we are hoping to hear from them and act based on Alhaji submissions. That's why I always call you the ever smart and intelligent. Thank you so much, Alhaji, for your contributions. Alhaji Gomda is the chief news editor of the Daily Guide newspaper, and we'll be discussing some important issues in the papers this week. We have more on the show. Please stay.